In the 1989 motion picture Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner's character, Ray Kinsella, hears a voice while walking through his Iowa cornfield. The unseen voice repeatedly calls for Kinsella to do something completely illogical, and Kinsella is compelled to plow up his perfectly fine crop and replace it with, of all things, a baseball diamond. While not everyone embraces the vision, thousands of people do come to see Shoeless Joe Jackson and other maligned players commonly known as the Black Sox. And Kinsella's Field of Dreams ultimately saves the family farm.
The plan just kind of hit me.
Denise Stillman just may be a modern-day Ray Kinsella.
The oddity is that now, in this case, it's the wife and not the husband who's been the idea driver. And yeah, certainly we've had those moments of, is this the right thing to do? Those were much more early on.
Like Kinsella, Stillman also believes if she builds it, people will come to the Iowa cornfields where Field of Dreams was filmed nearly 25 years ago. And there's reason to believe she may be right. The Field of Dreams movie site was a popular attraction in the years following the film's release and drew 65,000 visitors in its good years. But interest may have peaked. Though she lives closer to Chicago, Stillman is convinced the site near Dyersville, Iowa can once again become a major attraction, drawing thousands of visitors annually.
The idea is to bring families here for a baseball vacation. So they'd come for the whole week, come on Sunday and stay through Saturday, and they would get to experience what Iowa life is like, what this beautiful field is all about, and get to experience it.
Stillman's plan is to carve out 24 more diamonds out of neighboring cornfields and invite youth teams from around the country to live out their big league dreams at her proposed all-star ballpark heaven. During peak summer months, the experience would include as many as 120 baseball and softball teams per week, staying on-site in dormitories and competing in tournaments, all within a fly ball of movie history.
When people drive up to the facility for the first time, we want them to have that wow experience. That, wow, this is their nirvana of baseball. This is the holy ground of baseball. And I don't want it to feel like a Disney type of crazy park environment. I want it to be a respectful, reverent almost experience where they feel like, gosh, this is where I need to be and this is a great place.
The Iowa legislature recently approved $16.5 million in tax rebates for the project. But the All-Star Ballpark Heaven, which includes indoor facilities for winter months, is expected to cost $38 million.
Ray, it's time to put away your little fantasies and come down to earth.
Like Kinsella, Stillman has discovered her idea isn't exactly a home run for everyone. Wayne Amescamp grew up right next to the movie site. His family even owned part of the famed outfield until a few years ago. The diamond is still visible from his acreage. Since the land around the Field of Dreams site is home to more livestock than ball players these days, Amescamp isn't a fan of the plan.
We're going to get a lot of city people with the farming area that we are, tractors and wagons and hay equipment going down the road, and they're going slow, and that's going to bottleneck some of the traffic up too.
And Amescamp isn't the only local resident who would prefer not to lay down the sacrifice bunt for the project. Others have voiced concerns at neighborhood meetings over light pollution, waste, and even the potential for flooding.
There's another issue I have about the agricultural smell. If these baseball players come out here and they're from the city and they smell this pit manure that we spread on their fields, they might come once, but they're not going to come back the second time after smelling this.
Is this heaven? It's Iowa.
While it's common for Iowa farmers to refer to manure as the smell of money, the full rural experience doesn't always pass the smell test for some. And there are other curveballs. Supporters of the project want sewer and water lines run the 3+ miles from neighboring Dyersville to the site. Doing so may require annexation.
This is kind of a high-risk, high-reward project. If everything goes according to plan, I think it could be a very rewarding project for the city. If it doesn't, as I told one reporter, that we're going to have some pieces to pick up.
An independent feasibility study revealed the ballpark heaven could pump as much as $40 million into the local economy over its first 8 years. But what if the project strikes out?
I'm not really too scared about funding the actual project, our part of it. Our risk would be if the project doesn't last for more than a couple of years, that we would have a lot of infrastructure there that we couldn't do too much with.
The initial pitch is a wow for the Stillmans.
Molly Evers is a city council member and former softball coach and player.
I really wish I could wear that hat, but my glove has to stay on the bench for this, and I wish I could look at it as a softball player, but I can't. I'm not allowed to. I have to look at it at this level of assess the value of where is this going to benefit the taxpayer.
Evers questions the cost associated with the project and wonders if the town can handle an influx of visitors that could potentially double the Dyersville population of 4,000.
Yes, I'm for businesses and hotels. So I'm torn, but I have to watch for every base is touched, more or less.
While supporters of the project tout the economic benefits to Dyersville and surrounding area, critics are concerned over everything from demands upon infrastructure to a regional shortage of labor. If the city of Dyersville annexes the site, it would be forced to improve municipal services. And Ames Camp wishes he, his rural neighbors, and current Dyersville residents had a say in the matter.
I just wish that this could come to a vote instead of having 7, 10, 20 people debating on this. How many people in this area really want these 24 baseball diamonds here?
People will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom.
Whether the site turns out to be a cash cow remains to be seen. Local residents may have some reservations, but it's definitely possible that soon they too will be seeing a lot more baseball players on the Field of Dreams.
When did these ball players get here?
For Market to Market, I'm Paul Yeager.